First impression is everything. Invest in your property.
Don't talk to them because they spend $1 million on a property, can't spend 10 grand. They don't understand what the deal is here.
Neutrals are safe. Sometimes safe is forgettable.
The goal is to stand out.
Go beyond the trends to make the property shines. Layered textures, colors, patterns. You have to bring in the identity.
It's hard to do. I've done it myself before and it looks like shit.
That's why we have these conversations. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Beyond the Listing. And today we have our lovely Nadine Namani joining Edwin and I. And many of you know her from a lot of our videos. She's our fantastic interior decorator and stager at Ad Astra Host. And we're going to talk about design and interior design.
Yep, and a bit of amenities.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
So excited for this one.
Yeah. Lots of questions for you.
I know. Well, let's get started. So the first thing is the power of first impressions. Staging and interior decor for Airbnbs make a huge difference, in my opinion, versus other properties. I have a lot of clients who reach out to us, potential clients, and say, hey, I have this property. Can you take over it? And I say, can you send me a listing? And then I see the listing. I'm like, Jesus Christ, right? Like, no wonder you're not getting any bookings and reservations. There's like a lonely, sad couch in the living room. Like I don't want to say a mattress. There is a bed, but that's about it. No cute lamps or bedside tables. Nothing is organized really. And then it's like iPhone shot photos. So it makes a huge difference. So I kind of wanted to just start that conversation as to what kind of value you see that comes with the staging interior decor versus what I just described at an Airbnb.
First impression is everything. Like the minute the guests walk in, or even before that, like when they start scrolling photos, is the minute where they decide if this property is worth it or not. So like this is very important, like to invest in the property, in the design, and like not to miss those small parts, like he's saying, like mattress on the floor or like poor lighting. Sometimes you walk into the space, like in the same living room, you can see different color temperature. This like feels like the host didn't spend much time on his property or didn't make an effort on his property. So that's why like we need to make an effort to make the guest like book and say like this space is worth it.
Right. What are the biggest mistakes that you see, because we see lots of units, right? What are the biggest mistakes that these hosts that have started this process but haven't had a lot of success actually do? What are they?
Honestly, they do give design an afterthought. So they put it as the last thing, which is like very wrong, to be honest. And they focus only on the function of the furniture rather than the ambience, the vibe. Like we are here to create a feeling, emotion that connects the guest with the property he's like booking. So
I agree with the connection with the booking. In my opinion, people want to envision themselves at the property. People want to, kind of see themselves staying there, sleeping there, working away at this beautiful desk that might be custom made or whatever, right? In this little office den space that's beautifully decorated with books and shelves, right? Like they envision themselves. So if you don't create that, and if you, again, photos are very important at that as well. If you take iPhone photos, even with a nice space, like you just don't present the space in the best manner. But staging, you need to have core things. You can take very nice photos, but if there's one lonely couch, like I said, sitting there, just no artwork, nothing, you can take the best photos, bring in the best photographers. They can't salvage that. So you need to have the filling, you need to have the core, which is interior decor, staging, having furniture there.
Exactly.
Like that.
Layered textures, colors, patterns. You have to bring in the identity, the personality to the space. Like to feel, again, like the guest, it's worth it to book. They want to like have an experience with that property, right? Like not just book and stay. That's why for short-term rentals, people want to experience something new, different, right?
That's
not
true.
like the ordinary.
So you guys have, I know Anton has a lot of units and you guys done many. So what kind of trends and patterns do you see that are converting better, or what would you recommend to, say, a 3-bedroom condo downtown?
Right. Let me actually start answering that question, because I think I've made a little bit of a shift after working with Nadine for some time, because I personally like contemporary modern looks, right? And when we started working, I'm like, Nadine, we're making it clean. We're making it look very kind of modern, contemporary. And Nadine's like, because she loves the more flamboyant Moroccan and eclectic styles, right? I'm like, okay, let's take it easy over here. Let's go safe. But we actually worked on a property, John's property, beside her park,
it was
where
amazing.
Yeah, he had some furniture there already, which was kind of cool, and lots of kind of colorful artwork. So I said, Nadine, do your thing, right? Like, work with this. I'm not gonna meddle. And that property is stunning, and it's the best. It performs incredibly well. So I'm like, maybe. And the other properties, they perform well. They're good. They're well staged, but they're not getting as much attention as when you're putting something that is a little bit more colorful, that stands out. So yeah, you can speak a bit more about that.
I do believe like we're shifting towards authenticity, I call it, which is bold colors, textures. Like neutrals are safe, I know, but like sometimes safe is forgettable.
Yep.
You need something like to create a memory.
Yep.
And this is how they will remember, and they will come back to you. They are living in their homes already. So when they go to book for like Airbnb or something, they need something different, right?
I always tell my clients, when you are booking a hotel or a resort for yourself, how do you search for a property? And that goes right back to what you were saying. There's color, there's flamboyancy, because you can't have that at home. It's weird. But when you're looking for a place to stay and have a good time, then those capture your attention and create that experience. So that's spot on in terms of what your direction is, that creates the bookings and gets you more revenue because you stand out. Because there's thousands of properties out there. Like, how do you stand out? It's through design.
Yeah, and if before we were just making it clean, and you already stand out by having a nice clean unit. Now, we still talk about certain things we're gonna put in, but I'm much more open to having a more flamboyant wallpaper that's gonna be a focal point and the centerpiece for, let's say, a living room or a bedroom. Sometimes I'm like, okay, this is a little too much.
Yeah.
Let's take it easy, but. I'm like, okay, but this is cool. And before I would have been like, okay, no, this is too in your face. But based on actual statistics, we're seeing that it works. So I don't really care. Like, I mean, what I like is irrelevant. I want to perform for our clients. So we're going to put in what actually works. I wouldn't live in a space like that, but that doesn't mean that we should not be staging it this way in order to attract a lot of attention.
Right.
It's good, like Anton's balance, it's good. Like sometimes he makes me like do this kind of balance. Nadine, no, like take it easy. This is too much, which is like sometimes it's important too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we work well together on that.
What have you seen in terms of adding into the property that has yield more returns? You said like desks, right? Office desks with a nice office setup. What other items have you recommended to an owner that's like, it's actually worth financially as a return on investment?
I think we bring in a convertible couch because it just sleeps more people. So this is a no-brainer. The property we're actually working on right now, the owners have a full bedroom and a big den, which can be used as a bedroom and obviously a living room. And they said, oh, we'll just, we'll put a desk here. Now we can keep this desk. I'm like, absolutely not. We're going to put a bed here because there's plenty of space. We can make it look nice. And we don't want to also put 50 beds. So there's, a harm of people there, right? We want to make sure that it's reasonable, but for that space, there's no problem having 2 beds and a convertible couch. That's like one thing we say. The other thing, I think the wallpaper stuff or like focal points.
Yeah, the wallpaper, because it creates a focal point and it attracts.
100%.
Especially like seeing wallpaper behind the sofa or behind the TV, or like it sparks a joyful feeling.
It's like a theme that gives a different vibe for the booker. So like for us, before photography happens, we walk the property to find 10 good angles, and then we focus our attention on the staging and the furnishing for those 10 shots. Because if you think about the listing, the first 10 photos are critical.
100%, and you got to put them in the right order.
In the right order too, yeah.
In order to kind of take a person on a journey, and then you put the rest. I think also we were discussing wallpaper is kind of standard. It's not super expensive. That's why it's like a budget way of making it stand out. But there are other ways that we're looking into making a custom wall with literally using texture plaster.
Textures.
It's a lot more work. We're possibly going to experiment at one of the places with that we're going to be working with, but it requires obviously financial input from the owners to do that, and people are not everybody has enough funds to be able to sponsor that. We can get very creative, and other things that we want to put in. What was it, the LP player, right? That is really cool.
Some the record player, for example, those musical instruments, now people
and stuff like that.
are more attracted to something different again.
No, we have some properties that offer guitars because we have the cottage. We have properties that we call a coffee bar, which we're very intentional about. And then some people in the US would do like a waffle bar or like a milkshake station. Really depends on your guest, and then we try to pair those amenities with the staging and everything together, and that yields a better marketing product.
The latest project, by the way, we had Babyfoot. We have an entertainment
the whole baby setup
corner there,
a play area,
which is very interesting, right?
Yeah. And also when we stage, right, and maybe you can speak a little bit more about this, Nadine, we don't just stage for people to live there as in their home. We're staging it and decorating it for Airbnb traffic, for many different people to use and a little bit abuse the furniture, these things. So we keep that in mind, the beds we get, the couches we get. So maybe speak a little bit more about the difference between doing it for somebody's home, right, where it's going to get certain wear and tear, and doing it for an Airbnb with a high traffic.
Exactly. Here's the confusion between staging and the design. Staging is temporary. It's marketing after all. You're marketing that property to rent it out for short-term rentals, So we do work on getting functional furniture, durable furniture, but at the same time, we do have to create the visuals and make it ready for the daily wear as well, because we're not only targeting family here. The niche is bigger than that. Your guest can be anyone, family, couples, friends, so it can be anywhere. So you need it also to be practical, functional. That's why the convertible sofa, for example, or some basic
and a sturdy
furniture,
one that's not going to fall apart after 3 uses, right? So we test the furniture and
they are already tested. That's why sometimes we repeat them in different colors, different textures at least, but because we know that they are functional enough.
Yeah,
That's
some of these sofas have lasted over 2 years now and they're fine.
Yeah.
So it's, why not? And they look cute enough. Again, we're very conscious of budgeting. We can't be getting $3,000 couches here for an Airbnb because it doesn't make sense. I mean, it makes sense for a ultra luxury property when you have a 3-bedroom penthouse downtown. Then you can invest more money into the furniture. You can also charge people $800 to $1,500 a night. So sure, then that $3,000 couch makes sense. You don't really want to put IKEA things, right? But in general, for our properties are all lovely, but not all of them are the massive 3-bedroom penthouses, right? So those properties, it doesn't make sense to put such high-end furniture because it's going to be more difficult to get that money out if somebody spills something on them or break them. So we do put in a furniture that looks good, that's good enough quality, not the cheapest stuff, but also is budget friendly because people have to spend. Our packages start at $8,000 for 1 bedroom, $10,000 for 2 bedroom, and that's super low for the market. Other people will charge $10, $12 just for a 1 bedroom because we include everything, not just the furniture, right? We include from plates, forks, vacuum cleaners, everything that you need literally to have a 5-star stay. And it's still, people are very, it's difficult for them to make that step, to pay that $10,000, to pay that $8,000. What are we gonna talk about? The $3,000 couch, right? You know,
You just don't talk to them because they spend $1 million on a property, can't spend 10 grand. They don't understand what the deal is here.
I understand, but you have to, you also understand people's situation. They get it for $1 million, but right now the economy is very tough. They're losing money. There's not enough money. They want to get it going, but they're like, can you pay for it? I'm like, we've had that multiple times, right? It's like, oh, why don't you buy the furniture and then take the money
I
later?
heard
I'm
that
like,
before.
let me not do that.
You can find somebody maybe will fall for it.
But if they think about it this way, like design will like return on their investment, right? Like after all, they're investing to get more.
Yes,
right?
but have you showed them like, look at the comparables? This property that we have that you guys worked on versus a property that you haven't worked on, there is a $30,000 difference.
I understand, and we do say that, and they still say, well, that's great, but I don't have the money. What are you going to do with that, right? Like, you also have to be sympathetic with a person's situation, right? And what Nadine was talking about is that there is, there is staging where we can provide the service. We just don't really have the target audience for that, because we do work with properties that we need to stage and furnish for living, or again, rental. But stagers who do it for real estate agents is basically for show. They don't need to have sturdy or ergonomic structures, because if we're going to put
not even a real bed, they can put fake beds.
Exactly.
Yeah, or like,
but
again,
it looks too perfect.
We're going to get a decent mattress. If we're going to get a really poor mattress to sleep on, then people are going to complain about it. We're going to get bad reviews. We can't have that. So we need to be practical, and it goes beyond staging. Again, in our situation, we need to get vacuum cleaners. We need to get, again, those shoe horns and umbrellas, and
like
the list goes on.
every single item.
Exactly. Cleaning supplies, ironing. Like, you don't do that for regular staging. So it's staging plus, really, right?
Yeah.
Different.
Very different.
And some properties, we also do not just staging and interior decor, we also do design. We actually are working on 2 units right now where Nadine put together what the bathrooms would look like, what the kitchen would look like, how it all would look together, the furniture and stuff. So I gave her the green light for the Moroccan property. So it's all like reddish, but it's very beautiful, right? So it all depends on the situation. Of course, that is a much higher expense. It's the 2 properties are $160,000 in investment for the owner, because it's redoing the bathrooms, redoing the kitchens. There's lots of things that need to be done.
Let's go into details about this. I'm sure our viewers will want to know, or a homeowner want to know. So, like, say we're going to begin this project. So, how does this ordering? Do I get to choose what's being ordered, and where does the products go, and who's going to be setting it up? How does that all happen?
So we do our consultation first, and we check the place. It depends. Like, some clients, they're like, Nadine, we want this style or this style. But I always try to convince them with the eclectic Moroccan again, something colorful. So the minute they say, like, Nadine, like, I want this style, for example, I start with a mood board to bring the vision into a mood board.
Right.
Like he was saying, like putting the tiles together and everything together, like, so they can envision how it will look, and we'll take it from there. Like, we take care of the materials, execution. We can do everything from A to Z. Like, they don't need to worry about anything.
I guess, like, for people to know your process, once you do the mood board, and then do your team go shop? Like, who you're shopping online, or you're shopping at a store? Like,
so we work with different suppliers, like in Canada and outside too, like all across the world, you can say. So we can work with anything. For Moroccan, like, usually I outsource them from Morocco, for example. Okay. So we deliver, outsource the products. We shop for them, the materials, everything. So you can give us the key, and we'll take care of the rest.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a turnkey solution, really, right? Like, the gentleman we're working on right now with a larger project, he said he's a very wealthy man. He is able to, has multiple properties and buildings, and he wants to do an Airbnb in certain units. And then I took a look at it. I said, look, sir, we can do it for you, but you don't have a washer dryer here. That needs to happen for turnover. We can hire a laundry company, but that's going to make the cleaning costs just so high that, we could. But then the bathroom is kind of outdated. The kitchen is very old. So we would love to do more work on this, right? If you're okay, he's like, send me, give me the breakdown, give me quotes. So we have people who do kitchens, obviously. We have people who can do closets. We have our own contractor handyman who can do a lot of work, right? Obviously, he can do bathrooms and different other things. He's done a lot of work for me, very quality work. So we're able to provide all these things and bring it all together and find if there's, he wanted also to put the HVAC in, the ones that you have in Europe. It's called ductless HVAC, right? Where you, so for air conditioning, because that place doesn't have air conditioning, you want to have that at an Airbnb. It's an asset. So he's like, give me quotes for everything. So we put everything together, and it ran up to about $165,000 for the 2 units that he has. But it would basically, the place is going to look completely different. The only thing we wouldn't touch are literally floors, right? And doors, because then it just, then we're opening a new can of worms. And again, Nadine put together the mood boards, what it would look like, have a feel. This is the kitchen, this is this. We got the quotes, give or take approximate numbers. There's always, 10% here and there. It can get more expensive. You can save some money. And then we do the process, right? And again, this is the maximum extent of what we had a client request. Often it's just literally, hey guys, come in and work with the furniture we have, add some furniture. That's a custom quote. The place has nothing. Here is 10 grand. It's 2-bedroom. Make it look good, right? It all depends. Or it could be, okay, here's 10 grand, but I want it to be on steroids, like get me wallpaper, get me other things. That's another, let's say, $2,500 to do a few more things to make it enhanced. It's like an enhanced package. So it all depends on what the person wants and their desire, right? So we're flexible in those things, and we try and make it as presentable as possible, because we know what's going to do well on Airbnb based on our statistics. And to kind of cap it off, the way we frame it is that, look, you're going to invest this 160 grand. These properties are going to get you this money back in 2 years, right? Based on our calculations and estimates, you're going to pay for these renovations in 2 years of this revenue. And your asset is obviously at a very different price point now with these beautiful renovations. And if you want to sell it at any point in time, and it's going to be generating revenue for years to come from Airbnb. We're not planning on just doing it for 1 or 2 years. We'll do it for many years. So yeah.
How long does it usually take for this project?
How long do we usually take?
How long is this project going to take?
Yeah, so this one would take about, I want to say 2 months, because it's a lot of work with, getting bathrooms replaced. You got to make the kitchens. That just takes a month to make a kitchen, right? If they go fast. So that would be like a 2-month project. Usually we have 2 to 3 weeks turnarounds very quickly.
Yeah, like if it's only like staging without like those renovation upgrades or something, 2 to 3 weeks max.
Okay.
Sometimes we finish it in 1 week, right?
Yeah, it depends on a situation, depends on the suppliers, what they have in stock, what Nadine can find. We go fast. Like there's no point of sitting and not making money on the property. We want to make our clients money. We want to make money. She wants to make money, so everybody's...
And especially because like I don't rely on one shop. Like I like to thrift, I like to go vintage shopping, So that's why like I try to blend different pieces into one. And this like we already used this trick in our staging, like mixing the high and low together to bring in that again authenticity to the space.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. You wanted to ask, I remember when we were having conversation earlier today about an ROI on these stagings, right? And
or just setting it up, or like furnishing it.
I mean, it would be difficult to. You would have to have a property that had numbers before, then we changed it and we look at the numbers after. We don't have a property like that at this point in time, because the ones we took from clients were actually beautifully designed, just kind of happened this way. But I can tell you that the properties that we have staged with Nadine, and the properties that came from owners that were, most of them are very good, but some of them are average. The ones we've staged with Nadine, they just perform better. And that's why I tell everybody, I want to do staging for you, because we're going to make more money. You're going to make more money. We have statistical evidence. By how much, it's a little bit difficult to say, again, because I don't have, and again, even if we had one property before staging and after staging, different years are different. It's hard to compare, but we empirically see that, John's place, when she staged it, it blew everything out of the water. We're astonished. The guy was making like $6,000-$8,000 in the first like 2 months in his pocket. I was expecting for him to make like 3-4 if everything is good, because we're just starting.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Photos are selling after all. You know,
100%.
like
I agree. I think there was a statistics that professional photos increased revenue in general 30-ish%.
30-ish?
Yeah.
That's insane. But it makes
the
sense.
iPhone photo versus professional photo,
It makes
right?
sense.
It's a huge difference.
It's a huge difference because, like I said, you take a person on a journey. Again, if you have if you have a couch in the middle of the room, whether you take it with iPhone or professional, it's not going to do much. But when you have a beautifully designed space, it stands out, right? Like people just book because it looks like from Pinterest.
Yeah.
And that's our whole goal. And that's why I said, Nadine, start doing more of your style, because it is more Pinteresty. It's hard to make it Pinteresty with $1,000 modern couch, but it is much easier to do it with a more of an eclectic couch look or vintage look for the same amount of money, right?
Yeah, like
It's the layering that she
textures,
does.
Layering,
Yeah,
right?
you
It's
talk
the
about
blend.
texture, color,
How you blend them.
volume, right? It's how you blend it all together. It's actually
Exactly.
really hard to do. I've done it myself before, and it looks like shit.
And honestly, people are like now more like towards the craftsmanship, you know, like something different. Again, they're traveled a lot, they've seen a lot. We can't keep it safe anymore, honestly. I do believe like we should.
Yeah, and
Step
that's why
forward.
we live and learn, right? And if I see certain things, I'm not going to be oblivious to it because I like certain things. I will definitely, and again, in a tamed manner, but I will open up and say, listen, this is, open up my views rather, and say, yeah, you know what? I think we should be going more in this direction. I like it. Statistically, we're seeing better performance with more flamboyant properties. And maybe let's not throw it, take it off the cliff over here, right? But I like the direction for sure.
What about outdoors? Do you guys, you have some houses too. Do you guys do anything on the outside? Because at least in what we do here is a lot of our cottages, the main selling feature is outdoors.
Yeah, like definitely when there's like an outdoor space, we do design it, but it depends. Like if it's a small one, usually we add a table, 2 chairs, some greenery around. If it's a bigger space, no, we like craft a mood board for it, like we start staging it in a different way because it's a selling point as well, especially in summer, spring, like in Canada, especially like people wait for this experience, right? So yeah, definitely we pay attention to the outdoor. Like for example, John's, like he changed the whole deck, for example, right? Like he
got the barbecue and the outdoor dining, all that stuff, and umbrellas.
It wasn't that big of a deck, but we have a property with a swimming pool, right? And obviously right now it's not the season. We stage it inside, but once the summer season is around the corner, we're definitely going to look into staging it outside and retaking the photos and really putting a big focal point, like you've mentioned, that it has the pool, that it has this beautiful area where you can rest outside. And again, for cottages, you said, of course, people want to be outside for the most part and enjoy the amenities.
Exactly.
And the amenities is actually another thing that we had a little bit of experience with, like at this house, right? We had a games room where the owner said, I want to put in a foosball table and a ping pong table. I'm like, this is an amazing idea because you and I, we've spoken about this. Amenities are huge. That's how you differentiate yourself. Hot tub, sauna, right? If you can, again, even like board games, they're nice to have. One of our clients added Pac-Man in one of his Pac-Man machine in one of his units.
Arcade machine. Our favorite ones is the full-size Connect 4 because they're massive and they photo well.
Yeah.
And then you just put them in the living room or whatever. So, I mean, what have you seen that's been like converting?
I think the answer to that. It's the hot tubs.
But for like in the city, like.
Well, in the city, houses do have hot tubs. So we
in
had
the condos, yeah.
Well,
in the unit. In the unit.
In the condo unit, that's a tough one because it's really about the design, and we have nice TVs and stuff, but I don't know what's the. I don't have the empirical evidence to say that this specific thing converted more.
Mm.
But I
Have you
feel like
tried
it has
projector?
to.
Projector?
We don't have any of those.
I tried those and they do well.
They do well, eh?
Yeah.
Dennis actually was saying that is a cool idea to try. Maybe we should try it on one of the properties. Like I said, we're evolving all the time. But again, the projector is more expensive than like
No, it isn't.
How much is it?
Amazon, $150.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You don't
But
need a
we're-
fancy one.
We're adding some games, for example, like Uno, Monopoly.
Yeah,
I
yeah, but
think these are nice too.
Yeah, these
right?
are nice, but projector is basically a replacement of the TV,
I
right?
know, yeah.
This is my tactic. If you go on Airbnb and look at the amenities checklist, I'm just trying to check those boxes off.
It's true.
So
It's
movie
true.
theater is a checkbox, and having that projector screen, which is like, I don't know, get a roller blind that's like $200.
For a condo? Or,
Yeah, just attach it to
Yeah.
the ceiling. Do the roller blinds for $200. Roll them down. That's a screen, and another Amazon projector, $300.
You see, you're
set.
giving us tips for
Yeah,
our
that's
future projects. We could, yeah, that's actually a cool thing to
Right.
do for certain
And check
units.
that off.
Yeah, I think they're like you don't want to get $100 Amazon projector either.
You
'cause
can get a nicer one, of course, but I'm just saying if you're on a budget and you have a
yeah,
less economic,
that's a cool
unit,
thing.
then-
That's a cool
Rather
thing. So
than
I
a
think
TV.
that could be actually a cool thing for a condo. We could look into. See, that's why we have these conversations. And I think Dennis actually did mention the projector is a really good idea. So we've been talking about, and that's where the wall, the kind of not the feature wall, but I guess it is a feature wall, the one with plaster,
textures.
textures
Yeah.
and plaster rather, comes in. So we always internally try and think of other cool ideas. So in terms of condos, again, nobody's gonna just tell you, "Oh, we booked your place because of the wallpaper,"
how
right?
about coffee machines? Like very fancy coffee machines, because that does well in our properties. Like a full-on espresso machine.
Right, but you have to also consider that your nightly rates are very
Just charge
high.
more.
I understand, but then these are expensive machines, and you need to tell the owner now, instead of paying $10,000 for you're gonna have to spend
15,000.
11,000, right? Because we're gonna put this fancy machine. Like I say, what if somebody breaks it, right? Like what happens then? How are you gonna get that?
True, you know.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun lately with Airbnb Recover and Truvy, but that's a different conversation for a different podcast. But I feel like, yes, for the 3-bedroom penthouse or for a fancy cottage, 100%.
Right.
We
for
can
the
take it.
economic stuff, probably not.
Exactly, because there's a lot of beautiful condos that we have, but they're still in, medium segment. We just make it look better than other people in this segment. But drip coffee or an espresso is perfectly fine for that, in our
Yeah,
opinion. Because again, you need to sell this to a client. You need to sell it, hey, we
The
need
owners,
this.
right? Yeah.
And you need to kind of like, you're going to say, oh, it's going to perform so much better. I don't have the empirical evidence that it's going to actually perform better than a different property. We have to make $15 more on a nightly rate. Is there that number? So the fact that it's going to look together, very beautiful and look good in pictures, 100%, your occupancy rate is going to be, people are going to book your property first over somebody else because it looks way better. So it's...
It was interesting if there was like a chart that would be like desk, then you get $10 more a night. Like you do a projector, you get another like $20 a night.
That would be nice, but
It's like for us, like hot tub will give you like $20,000 a year.
well,
for example.
hot tub is much easier to gauge,
Quantify,
right? Quantify, because it's such a powerful.
but there's
feature.
expenses behind that, so it's actually
course.
hard to quantify.
But I'm saying it's easier to quantify from the standpoint of people's desirability of the property,
For
right?
sure. Yeah.
People will literally only want to book a cottage with a hot tub
Yeah,
because they want to have that experience. But anyways, there's there's all these things that we assume
factors.
sometimes, right? And sometimes we have to go based on our gut and just what we see. But a few things could be interesting to definitely test,
Yeah.
like the projector.
That's
Nadine,
a good segue. Is like what kind of trends are you seeing like this year and then the coming year?
I think like the textures, patterns, like for example, the checkered patterns is coming back. A lot of the 60s and 70s styles
Like black and
are
white
coming
checkers?
back. Like black and white, yellow and white, everything. Like the square geometric shapes, they are
Okay.
coming back, honestly. And again, the bold textures, like every maximalism, honestly.
Okay.
But you don't need to be maximalist like in furniture. Like it's just how you blend colors together, how you layer textures and
Yep.
patterns, and this is it, honestly. So Yeah, like we are getting away from the neutrals. This is like the trend I'm seeing.
That's interesting. For colors, do you do all white linens or you use color?
This is our big pain now. We even started taking linen fees from every guest across all our properties, unless our clients opted out of that, where we're basically banking those linen fees because we do use white linens because that is professional. That is what you're supposed to do in the industry.
Same.
But as of maybe 3 to 6 months now, Airbnb is not giving us air cover. They're not giving us money for our claims when guests ruin the bed sheets. They say, "Oh, that's too bad. That's fine." So we have almost zero luck. We have like 10% luck getting the money. And we're considering switching to like a nice gray color or something that is basically not like we're gonna have dirty bed sheets. It's just that there's certain things. It sounds maybe horrible, but there's certain things that are not a big issue, right? But
white becomes an issue.
Exactly. In white becomes an issue, but in gray they're still clean. They've been in the washer. We wash them all the time very carefully. We're very particular about that. But we just are buying new bed sheets all the time now. And it is,
doing business.
It's not amazing. So you guys use white bed sheets as well?
We use also the light gray strategy.
Oh, so you are using?
We do the black makeup towel sometimes.
We do black makeup towels as well, 100%, because we've seen towels just getting ruined like crazy. So we've added that.
We also try to, depending on the owner, we recommend beach towels because people bring the white towels to the beach and they go game over.
Oh yeah, for sure. For you have to have that 100%. So beach towels, you have. What we do actually in terms of quality, we do focus on quality of the linens. We do a minimum 100% cotton. We don't do any polyester or anything like that. So we found IKEA a good source for kind of baseline, decent quality. It's not the softest cotton you're going to find, but it's good quality for, again, the price that the owners are willing to pay for a setup. Because, you're going to have 3 beds. You're going to have to pay $100 per bed, right? That's $300 because you need to get 2 sets.
Oh, we do 3 sets.
Oh, you do 3 sets.
Yeah.
Wow,
just in case someone pisses the bed and you need a backup.
Well, we have a backup. You have a backup of a backup. We have a backup, right? So that's what we do too. Yeah. But nicer properties, we do have linens that are going to be, instead of $100, they would be $200, right?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't I think we can go for sage, pinkish, like those pastel colors.
The only problem
of the white,
right? The problem with that is that once you start getting into that, you need to know that you're going to be able to find that same set later. So you're not just throwing everything out
mixed up.
That's why we like IKEA, because it's going to be there, it's been there, and it's going to be
good point.
You can restock easily. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So we might look into like darker gray.
Yeah. I think what, going back to the design trend and colors, like at least how we've been doing it is we'll continue with the white linen program, but we use the throws, we use the pillows to accent with the colors. So I guess when you say texturing colors of coral and stuff, I guess coming year is through pillows and
artwork, like pillows, artwork, throws, something like that. But like the linen is like white always,
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. But we definitely use throws and many different things.
Lot of colors through that. So you don't see the white anymore.
Yeah.
With me, you won't see the white.
Yeah. So, so kind of to cap this off, thank you so much for coming. But before you go, here's a question for you. What would be the ultimate tip for a host that's trying to stage and decorate the property themselves? What is one or maybe top 3 things, whatever the choice is yours, how to answer this? What would you suggest to them when they're going through this process? What should they absolutely not forget to do for their property to either stand out or just perform on Airbnb?
I would first say invest in your property to make it photogenic and Pinterest material. Don't give it an afterthought. Just think about it. Like if you invest in this property and the visuals, you will get more guests.
Yep.
Loyalty. You need loyalty too, right? You need the guest to book again, to refer you. And I wish most of the hosts at the end stop thinking again safe, neutrals is safe, rather than it's okay, infuse some colors, textures, and go beyond the trends to make the property shines in the market.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the goal is to stand out, and the goal is to show off the best parts of the property. So either it's the living room where people kind of gather and create those moments, or it's the bedroom, or it's, I mean, for the ladies, is the washroom. So make sure it's clean.
Hey, I love the
Some
washroom.
changes,
I
yeah.
book hotels and Airbnbs based on the washroom all the time. I'm
Sure.
like, it's very bizarre, but anyways.
Because like the photos will show if it's clean,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the cleanliness shows. And if
Even
you
like
have-
It's
The
the place that you
pillows.
spend the least amount of time, but it's most important for me. I'm strange in that
Because
sense.
it reflects the whole property.
think it does.
Right?
Well,
The
you're defending
kitchen
my
and
point.
The kitchen and the bathroom.
yes,
right?
kitchen
You are
bathroom.
defending
They
my
will
point.
yeah.
Love it. Well, thank you so much. I think this was very insightful. I think it was very helpful for the hosts that are trying to either prepare their property themselves, or they now might understand that services like ours might be needed in whatever region you're in. So thank you again so much for
Thank
coming,
you.
Nadine and
Thank you for
Edwin.
having me.
Love having these chats with you. Thank you so much, guys. I think we're out.
Yep. Don't forget to follow our journey.